think we're live. Aren't I always in this conversation with you? I think we're live. I think we're live. I think we're live. And it's still doing its little circle thing there. So if you're watching us live, we're live now. Um, we are definitely live. It is great to be here. It's Coach Manny, and I'm excited. It's Friday, and we have a great teaching for you today. In fact, we have a two-part teaching for you today. Part one, we're going to do today. Part two, we'll do next week. And it is our book, Outstanding Results Come from Outstanding Leaders, is the title of today's piece from our 10 Keys to Great Leadership book. Which, by the way, if you're watching this live or you're watching the podcast as it's just getting released before the end of February, this book is out there for 99 cents. So please get a copy. We're going to have to go up after the 1st of March, but right now you can get that book. For instance, I encourage you to get a copy. It's a great, like all our books, quick read, a lot of information, and you'll see. If you like what you're seeing today on this podcast or this live broadcast, then you got to get the book because this is just one chapter. And it's one chapter run over 2 days, but we add a lot when we do live, right? You can buzz through this book relatively quickly, as in all my books, and you get a great piece of knowledge. But today, we welcome you to Targeted Lead Generation. And we are excited about the podcast. The podcast is rocking and rolling, and the Facebook Lives are rocking and rolling, and we thank you all for being here today. So let's get right to today's teaching. When you're committed to something, you accept no excuses. Am I not right out there? All you lead gen people out there, when you're committed to something, you accept no excuses, only results. And that came actually as a quote from Ken Blanchard. And any of you who know Ken or know of his work know it's just outstanding stuff, right? Getting things done right, and getting things done on time and on budget. Those are keys to your success, and they're part of our teaching, of course, today. Having a plan and having a purpose to the plan. Outstanding leaders get massive things done. How? Through other people, right? And if you heard me talk so many times on delegation, you know what I mean. They know how to delegate and they know how to create results. And if you want to generate and you want to grow that company and you want to get business in here, you got to do this just like the successful people out there. And you're one of them. And I just want you to be even more successful. My great buddy Norman Vincent Peale put it very simply when he said, big thoughts, big results. Where are you taking your company? You want 5 leads or 500? You want to close 2 accounts or 20? Think big, get big results. You get what you believe you're going to get, and that's just the way it goes. You really believe it's a law that you get no bigger results than your thoughts are big. Now just take that in, and I want you just to think about it for a minute. You all are doing great. You're so successful out there. You're rocking and rolling. And why aren't you even further? Could it be you're holding yourself back? I've done it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I remember thinking too big, okay? But also, many times we get gun shy after that, don't we? And then we don't think big enough. So please get them thoughts big. Get them thoughts big. Too many times our thoughts are way too small. Our wishes may be big, but then do we think, yeah, do I see myself, those of you who want to build $1 billion business. I was working with a guy yesterday and his vision is to build $1 billion business. And when you have that kind of vision, wow. Now, for some of us, we're happy to build $1 million business. I've been there as well. Or I remember we were shooting at one time when I was in the trade show, and so we're looking to build this $50 billion business, and we're this little $9 million shop, right? And we just started doing the right things, and it happened. But we saw it. We saw the $50 million business out there. Now, some other things happened, and we never did get there, but we sure as heck worked awful hard. So, I want to teach you today and in our next session 10 keys that will help you get there. And we'll start with 5 of them today. We'll come back next time, do a quick recap, and then we'll teach you some more. I'm excited here. I hope you are taking advantage of all the stuff we're trying to put out there. We're getting more and more books. Actually, I just want you to know we have a new book coming out. Just came out, Leadership. That's the 99-cent book. And look at the end of a 99-cent virtual networking book. Stay tuned to learn more about that as we work our way up to it over the next few weeks. So let's get started here. The number one thing is you've got to measure. And you know, if you've been around me for any amount of time, you know measurement is so critical, isn't it? You never know if you're getting the results you want unless you got something to measure it against. You know, how you doing in sales? Oh, we're doing wonderful. How do you know? How many leads did you get this week? I got 10 leads this week. Is that good, bad, or indifferent? All right. For some companies, they'll be ecstatic. For some companies, they'll be like, what? We need 100. So you got to have a measurement. Those of us in sales understand that simple as a quota. You made you didn't, and I know we all hate those, right? But based on those, we're going to make some money. I know, remember, quota defines how much money you're going to make. If you make that quota, man, if you exceed that quota, if you exceed it by X percent, that's what drives great salespeople, doesn't it? The opportunity to increase their income. And I know it's not always all about money, but when you're growing a company and when you're into looking for lead generation, which is the start of that cycle, start of that funnel, you want to get there. One of my old bosses used to say this thing called low man goes, right? The person at the bottom of the sales list every month has to get a new job. And that's the way he ran his companies for years. And he used to really, we have great conversations about that. Because, when you have a sales force and you have a sales team and you look at them, and you know what? We hate to let anybody go today because it's tough. But when you're in sales, we got to rock. Too many times we just don't measure. Whatever you want someone to accomplish, make sure you both understand and monitor the measurements. You'd be amazed at results. You'd be amazed at how many people are off, right? And we'll get to expectations in a minute. So create a visible measurement. What does that mean? I like charts on the wall. This is where we're going. This is where we are. This is where we're going. How are we filling that thing up? How are we making visually? And it doesn't even have to be a wall. If you're in a virtual work environment, put it on your page that you all work in. Put it on your Zoom page. Let everybody see it. The more you see it, the more you compare it to where you want to be, the greater your chance you're going to set and move forward. I can tell you a number of times when I looked at my own chart and I say, you better get moving, Manny. You're way behind. Remember, we're here. This is targeted lead generation, right? And so what are we looking at? Can we get to the target? Try it out. Find one thing you're trying to accomplish, right? And set up a measurement and start monitoring it. It can be something real simple, but just start doing it. As simple as how many leads do we need to get in this week? Put a number up there, okay? How many leads did we get in each day? Bam, bam, bam. At the end of the week, did we blow that goal away? Maybe we need to set it higher. Or are we way below it? Maybe we need to set it lower. Or maybe we need some more lead gen process, right? All those things make a difference in the process. Number two, expectations. Understand what you expect. Understand what those you're responsible to expect. Understand what those who you report to expect. So whether you're up, down, or in the middle, make sure everybody understands what the expectations are. I work with a lot of entrepreneurial people and a lot of entrepreneurs who need to hire salespeople. And a lot of entrepreneurs who over the years have gotten burned tremendously by salespeople. Why? Because they weren't on the same page. The sales rep had one expectation, the owner had another. And when they got together, they both thought they were doing what they were supposed to, but they didn't. So make sure, and you make sure, because whether you're the salesperson, I want to make sure I know what my boss expects, because I'm always pushing to exceed what my boss expects, right? What do you expect to happen? I see it again. So many times people say, it's not working. I'm not getting the results I want. What'd you expect? I did. What'd you expect? What'd your boss expect? Too many times people just didn't get there. And I go even further. I want it written down. If I'm being held to a goal by my boss, then I want to see it, because I want to put it on a picture, and I want to put that picture up there and say, this is where I got to go. And I want to watch my progress so I can see whether I get there. Try this. We work a very simple process. Sit down and ask those that work for you, what do you expect of me? And they'll tell you, and you put it on a chart. Make a list. Dig deep. Get everything they expect on a list. Then do the same thing in reverse. What do you expect of them? And let's get that on a chart as well. It's amazing what this does. And then you sign it, both of you. Now, there isn't a question, is there? 6 months later, when the questions and the problems could come up, you go back and you say, this is what we said, isn't it? Don't we all agree with this? And we do. So that's expectation. Number 3, discipline. All right, I'm Coach Manny. This is Coach Manny's live Facebook. Or you could be listening to it as a podcast. Either way, we're happy to have you. So let's talk about discipline. And there's that word again. Didn't we just cover that in a couple chapters back? If you were reading the book, you'd see that. We talked about discipline. But right here in this process, we're again talking about discipline. If you don't have the discipline to stick with the task and help others stick with it, then you're not going to see the results that you want. And we all want those results, don't we? We're all looking to get over that mountain. Discipline is learned by seeing what those you work for do. If you have great discipline, then your team will know they need to have it as well, won't they? It simply works that way. So again, I want you to try this one this week on discipline. Find one thing you're really struggling to get done. Put together 3 things you can do daily to move forward. And then do not end the day until those 3 things are done. 3 simple things to take you there. And be consistent. And if you've got the book, go back and read the chapter again on discipline. I just want to make you aware. CoachManny.com. And If you like what you've heard so far today, if this is the stuff, if this is going to pump you up, then jump on and get a copy of the book. The whole book, 99 cents right now. Limited time offer. Just click on the book. It's available on Amazon. Just go out, type in Manny Nowak, bam. And after we get done this Facebook Live, we're actually working on getting it up on the web page as well. So you can just go to the web page, click the book, download it. Bam, it's yours. All right. Number 4, consistency. You have to do it all the time. You have to do it every time. When you're doing cold calls and you're doing them every day, what happens? What does it feel like? You start to see some results, don't you? If you're trying to penetrate an account and you work it month after month after month, it will, if they're qualified and if they can use what you get, you're going to get in there. Trust me, I worked for years, okay, in consulting for big companies, and we used to go after Fortune 500, Fortune 2000. Actually, we love working with the Fortune 500, but Fortune 2000 companies. And I had in them days a list or a pack of all these companies, and every month, at some time in that month, I would call every company, not all 2000, the ones that we had targeted in this area, and I would call the IT director, and I would ask if they needed any people every month. And you know what? After 6 months, a lot of people fell off. After 9 months, even more, after 12 months, you know what? 18 months later, I'm still there calling the guy. And guess what? Bam, bam, bam. Doesn't always take 18 months, but I can tell you, if you're still there, I've seen some of them 24 months, 2 years later, 3 years later, you get to work. But once you're in, bang, that's your account, right? Especially when you're dealing with large accounts. So don't lose that consistency. And there's a great story about the miner too, right? And the miner, who had spent all this guy bought this mine. He knew there was gold in it. He spent all his time, all his money going after the gold. He knew it was there. He knew he had to make it happen. But then he was close, but he didn't know it, and he quit. Sold off the tools, sold off the mine for peanuts, and somebody bought it. And you know what? With a few little hits, a few little digs, the gold was there. The seller was inches from the gold when he quit. The buyer got rich. Don't give up. Consistency makes it happen, and especially in the world of lead gen, right? And especially in the world of lead gen, if you got somebody that's qualified and you're starting to go after them, keep going. Do not give up. Do not give up. And I gotta apologize for that one. Do not give up. Keep going. So try this one. If you really struggle every day, don't just do it. Write it down. Now, focus the next 5 days. How do I stay consistent? You'd be amazed at what happens. All right, one more. Then we're going to wrap up. That's why we did this in 2 sessions, because it's a lot of data. So the fifth piece is plan. You can talk about it all day long. You can think about it all the time, yet you might never achieve it. Without a plan of what you're going to do, you're never going to make it happen. And yes, planning takes time. And yes, sometimes we think it's not working. But without it, you're just wasting your time. There's a lot of great sayings, but I know if you're listening to me, you probably already seen it. I'm talking about a written plan, though. Not something in your head, but an actual plan with measurements, right? A written plan, you'll be amazed. Try it. Work with your team on planning for one thing, and you have all those measurements, put them together, and watch what happens. Wow. If you like what you saw today, if you like what you're hearing, get a copy of the book. It's 99 cents. Come on. Get a copy of the book. Just go out to Amazon and type in Manny Nowak. You'll see it. It'll pop up, 99-cent book available right now if you're watching this early. And you can also probably check out the website. We're going to put up there, but it's February, so I think we're going to run that through the end of February. So please, and this is how we keep this stuff in front of you, so please buy our books. Hey, I hope this has been educational for you today. I hope you've picked up some good stuff. Remember those 5 things we covered today, from measurement to expectations to discipline to consistency to plan. Implement. If you implement one of these this week, you're going to be amazed. Next week, we'll go to the second part. We got 5 more of these to help you. Hey, I want to thank you for being here today. If you missed some of this, don't worry. You can just watch it again on Facebook, or you can watch the podcast, which loads up next week. So if you're watching it live, great. If not, watch the podcast. Hey, CoachManny.com. Everything you need to know is out there. To connect with us, if there's anything you want, please buy our books. That's how we get more and more and more information to you. Get on our list. Encourage you to get on our email list. We will not send you all kinds of stuff. We will simply give you some good stuff. So all that's available on the web. This is Coach Manny saying, get out there, make this one of the best weeks of your life. Rock and roll. We'll see you next week. Thank you.